I bought pre-PG selection guarantee program. I did not have too much hope because I started practicing only in the last year, but people were reading from first year also. How can my 1 year compare to their 5 years? So initially I did not have too much hope, but as I practiced, it felt like playing a game. It gave me a type of motivation. So I from minimum target of 250, I went to 600 questions per day. So what I liked about PPG was their questions, they were reasonably hard, not too much hard like कि बाल की खाल निकाल रहे हैं. They have many clinical based questions. What I loved was when I did clinical based questions, I started catching the catchphrases in questions. Another very good feature of PPG was their effort DNA, which showed in which area was I lacking this week. Was I trying new questions too harder, and was I lagging behind in revision? And also they have this feature where you can see how much % of new questions you are doing correct. Also in the insight column, they have very good colorful representation of subjects. The most beautiful thing PPG did to me was my reading speed was incredible. I read the whole question in 2 to 3 seconds only. I can find out catchphrases and then I can watch for options. I remembered 120 questions directly and I got them correct in 1.5 hours. This gave me 2 hours to think about 80 questions very slowly and with calm mind. Hi guys, I'm Dr. Anmol Godara. I got rank 1040 in NEET PG 2023 with the marks of 626. I graduated from Adesh Medical College, Haryana. I am from batch 2017 and this was my first attempt in NEET PG. Today I am here to tell you about my story and I hope you gain something from it. First of all, I grew up in a village near Hisar, Haryana. My parents were both teachers, so I grew up in a studious environment. I was reasonably well in all classes. In my college also I never got a supply and I also stayed in top 3. The decision to become doctors was actually my parents and my sister, but as I studied I grew to love this profession. I didn't study in first and second year much. I mainly studied to pass the exams, but in our third year when there was COVID, I got posted in COVID care center in Kurukshetra, and there when I dealt with these patients who are afraid of their life, I was actually afraid for their life also, because I thought I don't know anything, nothing clinical, and also don't know much about many diseases and medicines. So I was actually afraid, how will I deal with them? So at that time I started studying seriously to gain more clinical knowledge and also for future. At that time I started searching Google Play Store for apps that will help me to study for MD. I tried many apps, but I did not do well with notes and lectures because I got sleepy, and even after reading 2 to 3 hours of notes, sometimes I thought I didn't remember anything. So I was just going through Google Play Store, then I came across PPG app. At that time I was just a free user. I only used to give daily tests and do some free questions. Then in 4th year I also gave up partially this because we had reduced time for the studies. So I was mainly focused on passing the exams and learning some clinical skills. But after I cleared the final year, now I was thinking, what should I do? I have just 9 to 10 months and all 19 subjects I did not make any notes. And even if at this time, if I buy any notes or any video package from any app, I don't have enough time to remember it. And at that time I also remembered my NEET UG. I still remember I did a 2-year coaching from Akash at 11th-12th, but because I was focused more on notes, I still remember the question. It was a river and boat based question. It was very easy question. I had all the basics clear. I remembered formula, but I solved it for 10 minutes, and the option, my answer did not match any of options. I was so frustrated, and so at this time I thought I will choose any app that will focus more on question practice, because I need more question practice. So I remembered that in third year I did pre-PG, so I again downloaded this app, and at that time they had started some selection guarantee program. So I thought, if these people are so serious that they are giving guarantee, if you study by our method you will get selection, and or otherwise they will get 100% refund. So they must have something strong, otherwise why will they give refund? So I at that time I bought pre-PG selection guarantee program, and initially my target was just to meet their bare minimal. My initial thought was that if I do about 250 questions per day, then 2.5 thousand questions in 10 days, 25,000 in 100 days, in 300 days I will do 75,000 question. Even if I take a 65 cheat days, almost one cheat day a week, I can still do 75,000 questions. And if after do 75,000 questions, if I remember even half of them, at least half of them will come in NEET PG, and they will help me. So I started practicing. What I did was I did 150 new questions every day, and one daily test of pre-PG, which was usually about 50 questions, and 50 questions I did for revision, which I had done previously wrong. And initially my target was only to get about 3 to 4,000 rank, because I did not have too much hope, because I started practicing only in the last year, but people were reading from first year also. How can my 1 year compare to their 5 years? So initially I did not have too much hope, but as I practiced, it felt like playing a game. I practiced questions, I gained points, my uh, prep DNA increased, the colors changed from red to green. It felt like playing game, and it gave me a type of motivation. So I from minimum target of 250, I went to 600 questions per day for initial 1.5 to 2 months. Also at that time my posting was in community medicine. There we got a lot of free time. It also helped me. And after 2 months of practice, I give grand test from PPG, and then I was surprised. Then I got almost 550 in that test. Then I thought it might be a fluke. I repeated test next week, and almost in every GT I got 550 to 600 marks. Then my motivation got stronger. I thought if I can get 550 marks in only 2 months, at least after 12 months I can guarantee that I can get 600 marks in NEET PG. And also what I liked about PPG was their questions, they were reasonably hard, not too much hard, like कि बाल की खाल निकाल रहे हैं. And also they have many clinical based questions. What I loved was when I did clinical based questions, I started catching the catchphrases in questions. I only need to see the question for 5 seconds, I can get about what is it this question is talking about. It also helped in my clinical practice, because patients also came with simple symptoms. Also medicine has same side effects which were asked in questions. So this also helped my clinical practice also. Another very good feature of pre-PG was their effort DNA, which showed in which area was I lacking this week. Was I trying new questions too harder, and was I lagging behind in revision? And also they have this feature where you can see how much percent of new questions you are doing correct. Because when you give NEET PG, you cannot assume that you will get seen questions. So it tests your underlying knowledge, logic and knowledge. How much new questions you get correct, that is a very good criteria. And also after 2 to 3 months, how much percentage of those questions you did earlier remain correct, that is also a very good criteria. Also PPG divides question into easy, medium, hard and very hard. And easy questions correct percentage should be very high. My correct percentage was 85%. And PPG also advise, because you can give up very hard questions, but easy questions must be correct. Also in the insight column, very good colorful representation of subjects. I hated when saw any subject in red, and I practiced that subjects more. When the subjects turn from red to yellow and then to green, it felt very good. It felt like I have overcome my weakness. And another very good feature of PPG is their revision. They do not tell you to revise this question just again. they follow a logic that in 24 hours you have a recent memory, which will not help you remember for exams. So when you do any question wrong after 24 hours, when you have forgotten from recent memory, then you will get this question again. And if you do that question again wrong, then this topic is your weakness, or any your underlying logic is wrong. Then you need to practice more about this topic, see some videos, read some notes, find out why are you doing this wrong again and again. So daily revision is must. Also, when I practiced 5 to 600 questions per day for first 2-3 months, I found out a problem that मुझे आंसर याद होने लग गए. I got to remember the answers. I don't remember the logic, but just by seeing questions, I started remembering answers. Or sometime I just remembered the third wala hoga, but I don't remember if what was the answer. So this can, some of you can face this problem. So to overcome that, what I did was I hid the options with my hand. Just by seeing the question, I first thought, what disease is this talking about? Just find out the catchphrase and what disease, and try to give answer without watching the options. Then see the option. This will help you overcome this कि मुझे तो बार बार क्वेश्चन करने से आंसर याद हो जाते हैं, लेकिन टॉपिक कुछ समझ में नहीं आता. And also you need to read explanations very carefully. Even if you did the question right, explanation will help you. And if you did the question wrong, explanation is must. And also some questions have very good explanations, but some questions might not have that good explanations, and that is the discussion column for. Even I remember I have given answers for more than 200-300 questions myself, which I thought, my logic behind giving answer was, if I reply in discussion, next time when I see this question again, the same my reply will help myself also. Then after practicing for a few more months, I found out that when I did same question, I was getting it almost always right. But when the question, some wording changed but options were same, I was getting confused that it was the earlier question or a new question. So what I did was I started reverse analyzing from other options. I read the question, I think hard about what the disease is, then I see the option, then I mark the correct answer. But after that, I see why are the other three options given. Try to analyze the psychology of examiner. Because the other three options are given, means they must be somewhere near. Just a small change in a question might give you another answer. So I analyzed what might be the answer, what might be the question for another option. That also helped me. And one more thing, I tried to give questions in random manner. I did not do it in topic wise manner. But for that you need to have a strong theory base also. First of all, you have to read all books properly, or any notes properly. Then you can start giving questions in a random manner. What happens is, when we give question under a certain topic, our mind already rules out some options, because we are doing question of respiratory medicine. How will be a heart disease answer? That gives you negative marks in NEET PG, because NEET PG does not give you questions according to subjects and subtopics. There will be random questions. So I did was, from their guided revision section, I did whole subject, whole medicine randomly, so that questions come from all topics, and it opens your mind. It gives you lateral thinking, or some call it horizontal thinking. Means that you need to jump from one topic to other topic just based on some catchphrases. I did have some doubts while studying. Main doubt was because I did about 250 to earlier I did 500 questions, but later on the stage, because of saturation, I did 250 to 300 questions daily. So I got this done in about 5 to 6 hours. But sometime I see my friends studying. They are studying from first year, and they are still studying for 10 to 12 hours. So I get some doubts ki I'm doing enough. Am I doing enough? Is this enough for getting NEET PG? But when we discussed questions, I found out that he may have more knowledge, but he could not apply them logically to the questions. That gave me confidence. Also, the consistency is the key. For a whole 365 days, whole week, I never took a break for whole week. Even on my cheat day, as I told you, I have one cheat day for a whole week. I usually take rest on Sunday. But also on that day I do 50 to 100 questions just to keep you warm up, because if you go give up, your body goes into inertia, and next day it is even more harder to try again. Then my strategy for last few days. What many people do last few days are they think I won't study anything, it will give me tension. Uh, that might have worked from them, but what I thought was in last few days I will do the volatile topics and mainly image based questions. And PrePG has this beautiful filter of image based questions only. So for last 14 days, I just did image based questions of all subjects, and mainly especially on the last day I did image based questions of anatomy and pharmacology and first and second year subjects. And I was very happy when I got the question about that graph, uh, that graph that had option of pah, inulin and glucose, because just the last day I did that question in pre-pg, and that was the first time I had seen that graph. But just because I saw the image, it clicked and I did that answer correctly. And also on last day you need to get good sleep. Some I had a problem of anxiety, some people have problem of anxiety, they cannot get good sleep. So what I did was I consulted a psychiatrist, and he gave me a sleeping pill, and I took that 6 o'clock in the evening a day before, so that to give you about 12 hours margin, so that medicine affects wear off in the exam, because some people may get drowsy in exams. I was also afraid I might get drowsy in exam, so I took about 12-hour margin. I got a good night's sleep. And what also you need to do is reach the exam center a day before. Don't think that I live only 30 kilometers away and I can reach by hour drive. Because sometimes any problem rises, any traffic jam, and it gives you tension. And on that day when you feel that day is going bad, your exam also start going bad. Let me talk about how I attempted my exam. First of all, the uh, most beautiful thing PPG did to me was my reading speed was incredible. I read whole question in 2 to 3 seconds only. I can find out catchphrases, and then I can watch for options. And what this did was I did 120 questions in 1.5 hour, and these questions were I remembered directly, means that they matched questions I had seen in pre-PG. There are more questions, but I have not seen or I might have not remembered. But I remembered 120 questions directly, and I got them correct in 1.5 hour. This gave me 2 hours to think about 80 questions very slowly and with calm mind. So first you need to do is you need to do questions you know they are correct and reach the end of exam, and then do the questions which you are doubtful. Then I applied some logic, some questions I remembered just staring at them. And when I think the question, the answer is in two in one, I think that is a reasonable risk you need to take. Because if you won't take any risk, you might not get rewarded also. But if you any question you don't have any idea and you are just guessing for one or four, then that will get you negative marks only. That won't get you any good results. And then how I handled my results. Actually, the result came early. I was also not prepared, and when I downloaded result, I just searched in PDF, and uh, PDF showed result not found. I was afraid, and my hands were trembling. I thought, was there any problem? Uh, did my exam get cancelled? Then I found out that it was a problem of the PDF only. They did not allow search. I had to search manually, and then I found out my result, and I was very surprised because I was expecting 550 plus. But because I thought why get more worry, I did not watch any recall videos because result will come. Just seeing it 2 weeks before, you will only get more anxiety because rank is more important. And as I thought, because the cutoff went up, the exam was moderately hard, not too hard, and even some questions were easy, so the cutoff went up. So that was my story. Thank you all of you for listening me, and I hope you gain something from it. And best of luck for your preparations. And my advice to you is, uh, Either you can try the revision of notes path, or you can try the MCQ path, or you can try the combined path. Choose the path which suits you, but the main thing is consistency and active learning. You can't crack NEET PG by passive learning, while someone teaching and you just listening. You need to think actively. If you can think actively just by listening notes or videos, then that's all right for you. But questions involves you more actively. And best of luck finally.